everyone, Black the Geek here, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today, I'm going to be doing something that I was going to do a couple of months ago, and it was something that was sort of going on a couple of months ago, and that is doing a top 5 perfect movies. Now, this was a bit of a thing a while ago, but I never did it for the simple reason that I found it really difficult, because your favourite movies, you know what you like, so that's easy. But picking 5 perfect movies is different, because you have to look at something without any like nostalgia. You know, you look at something objectively and you wholeheartedly go, there's nothing wrong with that movie. It's perfect. It's really hard to pick 5 perfect movies, but I've had a good go at it, and here is my list. So starting off the list is Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and also this isn't going to be in any particular order, by the way, but yeah, starting off with Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Now, this film is just one of the best teen movies ever, if not the best. I just absolutely love it to bits. I mean, first of all, it's dead funny. I mean, the jokes just land so hard it hurts, and it's just a quotable film. Like, there's so many memorable quotes throughout the entire film. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. Also, Ferris as a character, like Matthew Broderick, he's just so charismatic, and he's just so lovable. Like, and he's just brilliant. I mean, all the characters are great and memorable, whether that be Ferris, Cameron, Sloane, or like the smaller characters like the teacher who's like Bueller, or whether it's Charlie Sheen's random cameo. It's also one of the best examples in cinema of breaking the fourth wall, you know, with Ferris talking to the audience, and I mean, it's probably the best example of breaking the fourth wall in cinema. And there's a lot of moments which can be analysed for days, and there's just great sort of visuals, and you know, they tell you more than dialogue ever could. But what this film does the best, like a lot of John Hughes films, is how it portrays teenagers. It portrays them as real people. They're not like, you know, they're not the butt of the joke. It's not like petty drama or sex jokes and all that kind of rubbish. It's just, they're real people. That's what John Hughes does. He treats teenagers as real people. And while sort of other films like The Breakfast Club, for example, explore like the difficulties of being a teenager, this film properly embraces why it's good to be a teenager and what's fun about it and why you should embrace it. And that's what Ferris does with his friend Cameron. You know, they make the most of what they've got left of their childhood, and you know, that is such a lovely sort of message with Ferris, you know, helping his friend Cameron. You know, it's just, oh, I love it so much. So the next film is WALLE, the Pixar movie from about 12 years ago. Now, this is definitely my favourite Pixar movie, probably the best one. I mean, considering some of the other movies they have, like Toy Story, The Incredibles, Inside Out, that's one hell of an achievement. First of all, the animation is gorgeous. Like, some of the older Pixar films are a little bit dated with, like, the character design. They look a bit too... They don't quite hold up to today, but this film most definitely does. Like the landscapes, the stars and the colours, it's beautiful. It's also just an incredibly well made movie. Like, for the first sort of 40 minutes, there's no dialogue, and that's about half of the movies. There's no dialogue, it's just sound and music, and that's brilliant. You know, it's not spoon feeding kids information, it's not spoon feeding it, it's not explaining it because the movie thinks kids are dumb, because kids are clever. They can pick up on stuff. And this movie treats kids like a proper audience. And that's something that needs to be commended when it's ever done in film. It's also got a really cool environmental message about, you know, taking care of the planet. And that's something you don't really see in a kids' movie. And it's not heavy-handed, it's subtle. You could take notes, Chris Chibnall. Yeah, I just love it. Like, the story, the characters, WALLE and Eve are just so... They're just so cute as a little robot couple. It's just brilliant. So yeah, next movie, The Lion King. The original Lion King. Not the remake, because sod the remake. Because the remake is just utter drivel. But not the original Lion King. The original Lion King is phenomenal. And I was like 11 when I first watched it. And when I did, I questioned myself as to why I hadn't watched it sooner. It is my favourite animated movie of all time. Like I said with WALL-E, the animation is gorgeous. Like, the use of colour and it's so vibrant, you know, with the sun and all the plants and the animals, and the water is not just like clear, it's got so much colour to it. It's beautiful to look at. It's also such a sense of scale to it. Like, you know, it feels so grand and so epic. I mean, I know it's a retelling of Hamlet for kids, but we're talking lines. But it's so grand. It's like, takes place over many years. Takes place over many different areas of Africa. I'm imagining it's Africa it takes place in. But yeah, anyway. There's so many different scenes, like the Pride Rock scene at the opening, the Circle of Life scene, the Stampede, like with Mufasa's death. The finale is just so epic and so grand. And as well as that, you've got the songs, because it's a musical, you know. Circle of Life, Hakuna Matata, Be Prepared, absolutely fantastic. Counting for the Love Tonight. And even, not just the songs, but also the music by Hans Zimmer is incredible. Oh, and also Mufasa's death made me cry, so it gets points for that. Like, Mufasa is just such a lovely character. He's such a great father figure, and seeing his death through Simba's eyes, with the innocence of it, it really hit me hard. So that's why, and many more reasons, why The Lion King is on the list. Next on The Empire Strikes Back. Now, this is where sort of your favourite movies and perfect movies come into play, because Return of the Jedi is my favourite Star Wars movie, but Empire Strikes Back is definitely the best. I mean, this film inspires a lot within sort of cinema and franchises, because whenever a franchise gets like the middle chapter, it always goes for the Empire Strikes Back route. It always goes for the darker route. Our heroes at their lowest point, and we have the Empire Strikes Back to thank for that. You know, it feels so bleak as well. Like, the rebels are losing. Their main characters are losing, both physically and emotionally. They're at a proper low point, and it's just amazing. Also, there's just so many memorable moments, like, you know, the Battle of Hoth is a fantastic action scene. The stuff on Dagobah with Yoda is just great. Cloud City's such a cool setting, and obviously the I am your father twist. I mean, that goes without saying. And it introduces so much about the Star Wars universe. It introduces various characters like, you know, like Boba Fett, Lando Calrissian, the Emperor and Yoda were first introduced in this movie when it was released. There's so many different planets and there's a lot more variety with this film, and it expands on the Star Wars franchise, which a perfect sequel needs to do, and that's why it's on the list. And finally, my favourite movie of all time, this is going to make the list no matter what, Back to the Future. Yeah, I've said it, this is my favourite movie of all time, because there's literally nothing wrong with it. I mean, first of all, it's just such a cool concept. I love time travel stuff, you should know that by now. But I just love that, you know, it's a teenager going back like 30 years, meeting his parents, you know, giving his dad confidence, his mum hitting on him. It is kind of funny, but it's just so, that's what would happen, you know. It's really relatable in a way. Also, the characters and the acting is just perfect. Like, Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd as Marty and Doc have they've just got such great chemistry, you know, a bit like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. They've got such great chemistry, and it's just so endearing to watch. I mean, this film just has it all. It's got great action, great romance, you know, it's got humour, it's got brilliant music. Alan Silvestri, before he did the Avengers score, this was just, oh my god, it's so catchy, it's brilliant. So those are my top 5 perfect movies. So, how do we end the video? Oh, I know. Yep, I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. He's still here. It's over. Go home. Go.